Is the GOP ready for a bachelor president? Tim Scott is the only black Republican senator, and he finds himself in hot water. Why? Not because of his policies, but because he is single. And donors are starting to get a little skittish. They say they're not going to give him more money unless he shows up with a honey. In this video, we're going to unpack Tim Scott's marital status crisis and why is it such a big deal to the GOP donors. My name's Tim Black. GOP donors are threatening to close up their wallets, their purses, and their Cash App cards if Tim Scott doesn't show us why he's not married.
Yeah, Tim Scott is 57 years old and he's never been married. And I can tell you that behind the scenes, donors have been concerned. You know, a lot of them really like Tim Scott. They like his upbeat message. They see him as a potential Trump alternative, but they are worried that, you know, with the scrutiny that comes if he becomes the ultimate Trump alternative, is there something about his personal life that's going to, you know, make him less electable in the general election?
So they're saying they don't want to find out down the road that maybe Tim Scott has something going on. You know, like if there is a mister at home. And I'm seeing people saying, hey, this is not right for the GOP donors to be concerned about this. Here's the deal, man. He's a Republican. They lie to everybody about how much they care about family. I mean, they built their party on saying they care a lot about family. They care about family when they're in the stomach, in the womb. They don't care much about kids when they get born or when they're out. Then you're on your own. Got a bad family? Got no money, got no food? That's your problem, you deadbeat 2-year-old. We got to cut these budgets so we can afford some rockets and some drones. So there's a lot of contradictions with the GOP. But they are pretty much, you get what you pay for.
You have to remember, Tim Scott, first of all, has really prioritized the first state of Iowa, which has a strong evangelical Christian presence. You know, and you've seen a lot of the other candidates, particularly Ron DeSantis, really trot out his family on the trail, bringing his young kids, his wife. And I think they recognize that people often elect people that have big families. Now, obviously, Iowa, elected and reelected Donald Trump, who's, thrice married. But I think, Tim Scott's campaign recognizes that people just want answers. People want to know, hey, why are you 57 and you haven't been married?
Tim Scott had to know, man. He's been a Republican his entire life. He had to know that this was going to become an issue. No kids, single. There's never been a single president since the 1800s. There's a couple people that ran for president who didn't have wives, but they didn't win. Which would probably be fine because neither was Tim Scott. Oh, Tim Black, you're so cold-hearted, man. No, I'm just keeping it real, man. Look, some people say that Tim Scott is a good alternative to Trump because he's less offensive and he's one of those guys who spews platitudes. Just like Obama. And that's another thing. Tim Scott is a lot like Obama because they both talk about this soaring rhetoric about how America is so great, it's so fantastic, and it's so aspirational. And none of it is based in the reality of the murkiness and the drama and the trouble and the division and the anger and the pain and the frustration and all the other stuff that's going on in America right now. In one of Senator Scott's stump speeches, he talks about going from crops to Congress.
We live in the land of opportunity. We live in the land where it is absolutely possible for a kid raised in poverty, in a single-parent household, in a small apartment, to one day serve in the People's House, and maybe even the White House. This is the greatest nation on God's green earth. Today I'm thinking back to my grandfather, born in 1921 in Sally, South Carolina, in the Deep South. By the time he was in the 3rd grade, he was forced out of school, his education was over, and he was forced to start picking cotton. But my grandfather lived long enough to watch his grandson pick out a seat in Congress. That's the evolution of the country we live in. My family went from cotton to Congress in his lifetime.
What you think? If you don't believe me when I say he sounds a lot like Obama, listen to Obama talk about America.
My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. They would give me an African name, Barack or Blessed, believing that in a tolerant America, your name is no barrier to success. They imagined me going to the best schools in the land, even though they weren't rich, because in a generous America, you don't have to be rich to achieve your potential. They're both passed away now. And yet I know that on this night, they look down on me with great pride. They stand here, and I stand here today, grateful for the diversity of my heritage, aware that my parents' dreams live on in my two precious daughters. I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible. Tonight, we gather to affirm the greatness of our nation.
I'm not seeing a whole lot of daylight between Tim Scott and Obama right now. And of course, they may differ on some policies, but both of them downplayed race. Neither one of them will admit we have a racist country, that we have systemic racism. It's got pockets of racism, right? South Carolina elected Tim Scott as a single man. They didn't have a big problem with it. The thing is, now Tim Scott is in Iowa. In Iowa, he's evangelical all the way, Johnson. You can't go to Iowa as a single guy. They look at him like, what is wrong with Tim Scott? Why does he smile so much? Why is his pants so tight? What's happening? I'm not going to jump on the GOP about his personal matters, how they're prying into his personal life. That happens all the time on the campaign trail. They do it all the time. The reason why you don't hear a bunch of Democrats murmuring about, I don't know, any candidate's sex life, because they already know. Cory Booker ran as a single guy. And what did he do? He grabbed up Rosario Dawson. And as soon as he lost, he got rid of Rosario Dawson. Well, she got rid of him. They're not together anymore. That's all I know. So shame on you Democrats for acting two-faced. You are some hypocrites. Oh, and you know, I'm not a defender of Tim Scott. I don't like his policies for the most part.
You commit a violent crime, you go to jail. And if God made you a man, you play sports against men.
It's sort of like a guy who goes after the low-hanging fruit. I mean, one, he's going after trans, which is only 1% of the population, and how many of them play sports. And then he's going after, crime, violent crime. Or, the blacks. That's what he's trying to insinuate, right? And that gets a lot of applause. But he won't stand on his square on other things. And that's an issue I have with Tim Scott. Yeah, it's easy to call out LGBTQIA and wokeism, and it's easy to call out crime and smash and grabs or whatever, but call out racism within your own party. And some folks criticize Tim Scott because he won't call out Donald Trump.
You don't stand up to Trump. How are you going to stand up to the president of Russia and China?
Yeah, I think the truth is that is not standing up to Trump. The truth is that
you're avoiding standing up for his past, but you don't have. Yeah, you don't want to lose all his votes. I get you.
There's some commentators out there who are talking about Tim Scott. They call him a coward because he won't speak ill of Donald Trump. Yeah, that's true. He won't.
And the premise of the question is, why don't you stand up to Trump? You're just wrong, but I don't.
I've never heard you. I didn't hear you the other night stand up and say, I can't accept him as president.
Do you want to have a conversation or do you want to have a monologue? So I'm happy to listen, but if you want to have a dialogue, I'll be speaking as well.
But here's the deal, man. Some of you got no room to talk. When you were commentating, see, Tim Scott is a politician. You are a news operator. You are a commentator. And I don't remember you talking bad about Obama. And there was a lot to talk bad about Obama about. Drones, immigration, hate crime bills, small business contracts, people's houses getting foreclosed. It was a whole lot you could have been talking about Obama about, but you weren't. But see, now you want to point fingers and say Tim Scott won't call out Trump. But I don't think you should have to worry about it too much, Tim Scott, because I don't expect you to do much better than 5%. I mean, the only person you're beating is Chris Crispy. Nobody likes that guy, except Stephen A. Smith, for some strange reason. I don't know. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Should the GOP mind their damn business? Well, that's too easy a question, because we all know they should. But are you surprised that the GOP is all up in Tim Scott's business? That's easy, too. I already know the answer to that. I can't think of anything. I know what. How about you watch this next video? Yeah, this video is about the hypocrisy of the media coverage. Yeah, the hypocrisy of our media. It's right here in this content. All right, my name is Tim Black, and remember, like I always say, it's a new day.